CNT125 Security and Design Lab. We just got done looking at the basics on the firewall interfaces and so forth. We even did a test on browsing, pinging, telnet, SSH, that sort of thing, and noticed that all that traffic is permitted through. So we're now going to go to the firewall and put some rules into, in this case, we're going to start blocking telnet. That's not a secure protocol, so we want to block that access. So we'll go to the policy and object page over here. So we're going to do policy and object. We're going to do IP version 4 policy as opposed to IP version 6. And in here, we're looking at the LAN to WAN section. So right here, LAN to WAN, we'll open that guy up. This right here. So we're going to do in here create new. So we'll create new. So we're going to say create new. And we're going to give it a name of block telnet. Incoming interface LAN, outgoing interface WAN. So we'll say block telnet. Incoming interface is LAN, so we're going to make sure the LAN traffic trying to go to the WAN is being blocked for telnet. Source, we're going to say all, destination all. So basically any network, doesn't matter where, and the destination, it doesn't matter where. So, whether it be, the 32 subnet, 64 subnet, 96 subnet, whatever is going to be blocked, and wherever you're trying to go is going to be blocked. So for scheduling, we're going to leave always. For service here, we're going to pick the option for telnet. Okay, so over here under service, we're going to pick the option. We're going to scroll down, and we're going to look for telnet. Here it is right here. Okay, we can also search for telnet. And action we're going to say is deny. So down here, we're going to say deny. We want to deny telnet access. Okay, at that point, we should be able to apply that. We're going to make sure this policy is on. So we're going to say OK. And we should now see block telnet from anywhere going to anywhere. Always, telnet is going to be denied. Okay, so we're now going to try this and see, is it working? So I'm going to open PuTTY again from my PC. Let's try to telnet. And we're trying telnet to telehack.com, and we still have telnet access. Ugh. Okay, what's going on? I'm going to do a Control-C here. I'm going to close that out. So we still have telnet access running or permitted. Ugh, what's going on? So let's go back to look at our rules. The way this is set up very much like access lists are, and we're going to encounter that soon. We have the firewall rule that's first here has enabled or accepted pretty much all traffic. So anything going from anywhere in the network to anywhere in the world is permitted. All traffic is permitted. So since that is already permitting everything, this rule never gets checked. Ugh. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're actually going to drag that rule up, and this is the easier part about using the GUI. I'm going to drag that to the top, and now telnet is going to get checked first, and then anything that's left is going to get permitted. So these are done in a sequential logical order, if you will. So now that I've done that, I did see a note down here that it was updated. Okay, so now that that's been updated, now let's try telnet. So let's try our PuTTY again. We'll say telnet. Telehack.com. We're going to say OK. We're going to try open. And you're going to notice it's different now. It's trying. It's continually trying. But it's also popped up saying, no, this is getting blocked. And it's just going to sit here and act like nothing's going on. That's what we want to have happen. That telnet traffic hit the firewall, and the firewall's like, nah, I don't think so. I don't care where you're trying to go. Not going to happen. So, huzzah, telnet is now blocked. Excellent. Okay. So now let's go back in, and we want to block ping traffic. Because right now I can still, if I want to, ping google.com. That traffic is still permitted. So let's go in and put a new rule in that's going to block ICMP. Okay, because maybe we don't want people pinging or etc. Okay. So we'll go here and we're going to say create new. We'll say block ping. Or block ICMP, that would be a better way to put this. Okay. Incoming LAN, outgoing WAN. source any, destination any, okay? Always on, all ICMP. So always, and surface service is going to be all ICMP. Just that's under the general area. So all types of ICMP. We're going to deny that traffic, and then we'll say OK. And just like before, this comes down at the bottom, so I need to make sure I drag this up. I'm going to drag this rule up one. So now telnet traffic is going to be checked and blocked. ICMP traffic is going to be checked and blocked, and then anything left is going to be permitted. So now let's try to ping or trace to Google. It worked just a minute ago, but if I try to ping to Google, it's going to sit here and timeout, 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 because the firewall is blocking that. So I'll let it run a couple seconds here so you see this actually continually timing out. And we'll turn around and try to do a trace route. We're going to try to do a trace route. Trace RT to www.google.com. And we should see a similar result. We'll let that run a second. And the reason being, trace uses ICMP error messages. So it's trying to trace, but ICMP being blocked, it's not able to report anything back to us. So it's going to continually time out as well. I can use a Control-C to block that. I don't need to wait for it, because that's going to get blocked as well. Yay! Okay. So now that we've blocked Telnet and ICMP, let's try some of these. You know, we should still be able to browse. So let me go over here to, I'll browse to, google.com, or I'll browse to hack.com, hack.edu, excuse me. Okay, those all still function as they should. That lets us know HTTP, HTTPS traffic is working. The pings and telnet, pings and traces that we did are blocked. The telnet we did is blocked. Let's try the SSH. Let's try the SSH to our firewall. Again, we have not done anything to that traffic, so that should still function. We'll say OK. Login as admin. Password. Enable. Enable. Look at me, Mr. Brown. There is my, I can do a question mark. There we go. There is my login. So my SSH is still functioning. Going back here again, blocking Telnet, blocking ICMP, but all the other traffic is enabled. That's what that rule is telling me. So I will exit there. I will close that out. So there is a couple firewall rules in our firewall using our GUI tool. Okay. I'll go back to here. I think I hit a new on that one by accident. I can easily add rules here. I just need to think about where I'm going and where I'm trying to go to. You know, where am I coming from? Where am I trying to go to? Because that would affect what I'm plugging in these here, and then the particular type of service that I'm needing to block or permit. So let's gather our firewall config while we're here. We're going to do admin, config, and backup. So we're going to do admin, top right corner. We're going to do configuration, and we're going to do backup. This is going to create a backup config for us. We're going to send it to our local PC. We'll say OK, and that's going to download as a conf file. brown40gate blah blah blah.conf, C-O-N-F. So that should be going into my downloads folder. So I'm going to go to my downloads folder here. There it is. I'm going to drag it to my 125 folder again so I can find it. Security and Design Lab. There we go. So here is my conf file. And like I say here, we're going to save that for submission to D2L. But if I were to open that, this should open with our notepad or text editor. It should open with that. There we go. And here is the configuration. Here's where I put the Brown 40-gate firewall. There was the default. And here's the Brown 40-gate firewall. If I scroll down through, here's the LAN port config, etc., etc. Okay, so this is a lot of configuration here that's been done for us. A couple pieces at the beginning that we did. So we'll save that for submission to D2L. All right, while we're here, before we're done, we're also going to do an assessment on our firewall with Nmap. I will do that in the next podcast.